Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
And it's Ralph behind the camera.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food.
Wow.
And
what's
Ralph, today
here?
we're going to take a vintage housewares tour, and we're going to look at cake carriers.
I like what's in them, and I like what's outside of them.
Well, who doesn't like cake? But there was a time when, not that we don't eat cake now, but cake was a big deal, and it was something that we had on probably a more regular basis. Maybe there were less other dessert choices. And so throughout the years, a lot of different companies, American companies, made things to take cakes in, to either carry cakes, or sometimes they were called cake keepers, or a cake safe. And they were a way to keep the cake sort of covered up.
For transporting, and then also for...
and maybe to help keep it a little bit more
moist,
fresh,
yeah.
right? You know, as time went on. So here at Cavalcade, we have a collection of these sort of cake carriers or cake keepers of varying types. And I thought we would take a look at some of them. So here's one. This is one of my favorites, actually. And I love the combination of the turquoise and the copper color.
Yes.
And this one, Ralph, actually has a glass bottom.
Glass base, okay.
So you would put your cake on there. You would, frost your cake right on this plate. And then you would have this to sort of, if you were taking it to a party or just even keeping it at home, you'd be able to kind of keep it right in there. So we'll do a show just on cake plates one of these days. Now this would have been a little bit more expensive one. It's metal, had the glass bottom, and then I've got a lot of these here that you would have bought, at a dime store, like Woolworths or Neisner's or Newberry or Kresge and Ben Franklin. And these are just made out of plastic, and you can see they sort of interlock like this. But you could put the cake right on here, or you might have the cake on a cake plate. And
it's certainly big enough, this one.
It is. And then you would have it there, and again, you have handles and a way to kind of keep it fresh.
And then you have this design that you could do a carrot cake, a mushroom cake,
onion cake. Actually, it's so funny when you look at this color, it tells you when probably this is from the late 60s or even very early 70s, because sort of you had the green and gold and orange, and these were very popular colors in appliances. Like here, see? Here's a General Electric stove from 1972 as an example.
See, it looks
you
like
can see the color. Perfect.
Right, it looks like an ad right out of an old magazine.
Goes perfectly with it. So, now, also what's interesting are some of these are square and some of them are round. Because, hey, not all cakes are round.
Some are square.
Some are square. But here's one. Here's a metal one. And it has sort of a copper accent, and it locks. Again, you would put your cake plate here with your cake on it.
And a round cake could fit in a square carrier.
Yes, it
Because
could.
they're so big.
But depending, maybe you couldn't get a square one in a round carrier. I don't know. Here's an interesting one. This is made out of aluminum, which of course was a very popular material there, $3.99. This is made by Regal, and it has...
It's ironic, it's Regal, and it looks like something out of World War II. It's like something...
Yeah, it looks like a ration,
yes,
a ration thing. But here's a thing for a cake. This double, you could put a pie under here.
Yes.
See that?
Yes, please.
So maybe you had a pie instead. This was actually a very kind of ingenious invention. Multi-purpose.
I'm all about the pie cakes.
Very lightweight. So here's one, a pedestal. This is sort of a jadeite glass, and it, It has this glass dome that just lifts off like so.
Oh, that looks like something you'd see in an old
In
50s
the
diner.
Yes, right. And they often you'd see that they might have donuts in there, or they might have a cake in there. Here's another round plastic one from the dime store. Again, it just see how it has sort of a locking mechanism, so that you put your cake there. And I keep referring to a cake plate. I want to show our friends a little more. I got a cake plate over here. I'll show.
Should I come over there, or you want to bring it back here?
Because people are like, well, what's a cake plate? Well, I guess a lot of us would put a cake, a layer cake, say, that we were doing. And by the way, these are all for sort of layer style cakes, not like a sheet cake, like a 9x13 or an 8x8. These are for layered cakes
with some height.
And here's a cake plate, Ralph. And what it is unlike a plate that we eat off of that normally has a little bit of an incline, a lip. These are perfectly flat, because when you frost a cake and when you go to cut a cake, you don't want that lip. It gets in the way of the knife. You want a flat surface to come straight down and make that cut into the sponge of the cake cleanly.
No resistance.
Exactly. So cake plates are flat like this, okay? This happens to be a fairly large one.
And the texture, is that so that you can carry it?
It's just for design. This is just a pressed glass cake plate.
Okay, so it's on the bottom.
It's on the bottom, yeah.
That's what I thought, maybe so that if your hands were slippery, you could carry it a bit easier.
Here's another one, aluminum. Oh, look at this one. This one's got a little lever action, okay? So that lock, you see this little clasp? Unlock, lock, unlock, lock. And that make sure it's nice and secure.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to drop the cake, okay? And it's covered, so in case it rains.
Yeah.
Right?
Open it up so we can see how it looks on the inside.
Someone left the cake out in the rain. Isn't that a?
Oh, is that what
see where I was going with that?
Now I see. Yes.
Okay.
It's a MacArthur's Park proof cake.
There you go. That's it. Could think of the song. MacArthur's Park proof cake. So here's a fun one. This is just another square.
Fun color.
Isn't that fun? Yeah, it's all plastic. This was an inexpensive.
Does that lock at all?
Cake carry. It does not lock.
Oh, okay.
So you better have a steady hand with that one. Here's one, and I'll bet you a lot of our friends will recognize this. This is a Tupperware.
Hat box.
Yeah. It does sort of look like a hat box. This is a Tupperware cake carrier.
Oh, look at that.
And it had sort of this little slide-on handle.
I bet that's patented.
And yes, it is. And talk about a good seal, okay? So here's your Tupperware. And they made these for years. They might still make them. And they made them in different sizes, and then you just sort of stretch that back on. You've got a nice sturdy handle. These do keep the Tupperware ones, because they have such a good seal. They do keep the cakes pretty fresh. Look at this
Color.
Isn't that nice?
I could see a nice cherry or strawberry cake in that one because of the color.
This is also made by Regal Aluminum. It's hard to see on the bottom, but and I love this little handle here at the top. And it's made out of aluminum, and it's this I got a dust in here. This bright red color.
It's a little more regal than that.
Yes, a little more regal than the other
aluminum one for rations.
Here's another. This is sort of a twin to this one here. Same company, just a different design. So they would change up the designs, but the form is exactly the same. And then here's one, an aluminum one. This one is, I always think of somebody maybe taking this, almost looks like something
camping.
You might take on a picnic.
I was going to say, that looks almost like a thermos.
Now you want to see one that's been through the mill. Look at this one. I would love to, I bet you there was a lot of cakes kept in this one over the years.
I'll bet.
This was just your basic aluminum model here.
But it's seen some great cakes in its day,
You know
I'll bet.
you know it has.
Do these come down to hold it up for any reason? Like a stand?
No, I don't think so. I think they just sort of interlock
As
here.
a snap top?
Yeah, like so.
Okay.
And like so. Ralph, we're back to Tupperware.
Yes, I've seen this one at your house a lot of times.
I've used this one many times. Great. In case you didn't know what was in it, cake. Okay? Now this is one that, again, it has a glass cake plate on the bottom, and this just has a little lip on it, and this just sits right on top of it.
So no locking action?
No locking. Nope. Here's another one of those square ones in yellow and chrome. Okay.
Well, that looks kind of 50s.
Yeah, very.
And this one looks almost like from a diner. So would these be mostly like 50s and 60s, some 70s?
Most of these are. Yeah, most of these are 50s through the 70s. This is plastic.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all plastic.
Very lightweight.
And it's sort of a pedestal.
I like the ones you can see through because, like you see at a diner, you can see like once you cut into the cake, like what are the layers like, if it's cream filled or pistachio.
Here's one, metal. Pretty
sturdy.
Yeah, pretty basic. I'm not even sure how to open it. There we go. It slides over like so. Okay.
Okay.
So many of these were made out of aluminum, which of course was a very popular material, and lightweight.
No,
Here's
the one that said cake told you what was in it. This one says pastry, so it's not discriminating. It's saying you can put a cake in there, or you can put pastries in there.
Why wouldn't you maybe have a bunch of cheese Danish or something, right? That
donuts.
You want to put in there. So this one is pastry. It says pastries, but it's really the same as the other cake keepers. Again, it just sort of slide locks like so.
It's another basic
Here's
one.
Here's a very basic one.
With a glass tray.
Yep, with a glass cake plate. Look at this one. It's plastic. Great color though, isn't it?
Really?
And again, total dime store.
Simplicity, twist
stuff.
Design.
Yeah.
And what does it say? Does it say something on it? Is that some kind of?
It's just a swirl.
Oh, just design.
I know it looks kind of like a W almost, but it's just a design. Here is that red one that we had down there. This is a variation on this, also made by Regalware.
It reminds me of. Remember we made Ike's favorite cake for Eisenhower?
President Eisenhower.
That looks like something that would go in there because it looks like an army container.
It does, and it certainly is of the right period.
Yeah.
Now here's one that's plastic. I think my mom had one similar to this, as I recall, and sort of a copper plastic cover or base rather.
Nice.
Now here's another. This is a copper colored. This is made by West Bend, which we know that name. They make a lot of appliances and things made out of aluminum, like bowls and such.
Okay.
And here's their cake carrier. Another real simple one. Again, we have a cake plate. This one says cake on the top.
Oh, is that like Bakelite?
This is a Chromex. Is this brand? There's
Big spender.
Big spender. I paid $1.99. Probably got it even half off, knowing me. But look at this beautiful cake plate on the
very beautiful.
And it just sits on there like so. Okay. And another plastic.
That's nice.
Here's a Tupperware variation.
Ooh, square.
Now this one is square, so this one would be nice for an 8x8 or a 9x9 cake, or maybe some brownies, something like that. And then here's another one of these are really heavy plastic pieces. And this one isn't so much a carrier as it is sort of a cake keeper. And then finally we've got another kind of,
wow,
look at this, Regal.
The day the earth stood still. Looks like
it looks like a flying saucer, right?
Yeah, or a
and this
robot's
one just
head.
has a sort of a slide lock mechanism on it. But these were all things from a period where we took our cake seriously, and we loved our cake. Not that we don't now, we certainly do.
We love our cake, and we love to eat it too.
And where people made a lot, we don't make layer cakes as often now, I don't think. I actually think the trend now is sort of sheet cakes, 9 by 13. They're easier to frost. They are more convenient. You only need one pan instead of 2 or 3. You're not making all these layers, and I think it is quicker for a lot of people, so they don't make layer cakes anymore. There is something really beautiful and fun, though, about a layer cake, and I love these testaments to the era of the cake.
And like you said, cakes were maybe more regular, but they were also special occasion things too. You know, like more regular in the sense that we would have them more often, but special occasions so that you could really do them right by having the right kind of carrier for them too.
Yeah, yeah. So there they are. So there's a sampling of the cake carriers and cake keepers in the Cavalcade collection, and just some things that we like to share with our friends, Ralph. And we are so glad that they joined us for this, and we hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And we will look forward to seeing you again real soon.
And filling these cake carriers up with some cake for you.
All right, I guess I got my orders. We'll make some cakes and fill these up. Thanks so much for sharing this time with us, and we appreciate you watching. And we'll see you again real soon,
right here on Cavalcade of Food.
Bye. Everybody.